Welcome, everybody, to Chef Val Live. So, today is Friday, March 8th, 2024, and I am coming to you today to talk about the Vegan Health Bundle once again.
Yes.
And I have a special guest. And if you have not heard of it yet, maybe you've seen some of my videos or all of my posts. The Vegan Health Bundle is only available till March 10th. So, we're at the 8th, 9th, you have today and 2 days. That's it.
That's
It's
it.
over $8,000 worth of merchandise that's yours for only $49, featuring cooking classes, cookbooks, instructional videos, all the information you need on nutrition and health if you're ready to go the vegan whole foods way, or if you're someone like me who's been living it for 27 years, there's still information in there that is fantastic. I have a special guest today, Margot Freitag, and she has in the bundle a course, and it's for picky kids. And she is coming to us from the beautiful country of Canada, which I love. And so, uh, welcome, Margaret. Thank you so much for being here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, thanks for having me, Chef Val. It's actually Margot. A lot of people get that wrong because there's a silent T at the end. No big deal at all. Yeah, so I am the author of Plant Powered Punks, and for this wonderful bundle offer, I created a course called No More Picky Eating for parents and their children, mostly for the parents because we all want our children to become healthy eaters who love plants, and that's actually the tagline. So I would say that our vegan bundle, the vegan health bundle that we are talking about, it's not just for vegans or vegetarians. Uh, it's for everybody. I think that there's value here for just about anybody. I mean, if you think about all of the physicians who have, I mean, Dr. Joel Furman has his immune system program. Dr. McDougall has his gut health program. Dr. Lori Marbus has her, which labs to get checked when you go and get your blood done. Um, Gosh, there's just so, and then there's all the fitness, the Ella Majors and uh, Drina Burton's fascia flow and just yoga. And I mean, there really is something for everybody. Never mind recipes for the rest of your life. There's so many recipes. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Angelica has a 7-day yoga challenge. I signed up for that. I've been doing yoga for over 20 years, and I actually follow Angelica on YouTube too. She's a wonderful person, and her yoga is very gentle, and I just love that. So, how long have you been vegan, plant-based, living this lifestyle?
So I would say that I have been vegetarian for, I mean, a long time. Gosh, over 20 years, and then vegan for about 18 years. Yeah. So it's been a long time. And I actually became plant-based first for my health. I am an animal lover. I always have been. But I think I just had a mental block. And it wasn't until I actually healed my body. I had asthma and allergies and a lot of other issues. And when I healed my body, that's when I was able to kind of see all of this for what it is. It's this interconnectedness, that what's good for us is good for the planet, is good for the animals. It's just so universal. And so that's when I made the connection. And also, I knew, I mean, what happened was in 1996, I was in school. And I don't know if you know who Brenda Davis is. She's a registered dietitian. She's very well known worldwide. She's a best-selling author of many books, Becoming Vegan. She did the Becoming series, Becoming Vegan, Becoming Vegetarian, Becoming Raw, and Defeating Diabetes. She's a world-renowned author and speaker. But at that time, back in the 90s, she was this budding vegan dietitian, and I ended up having her as a teacher for an entire semester. And so I knew then that there was definitely a connection between my health issues and what I was eating. And so that was the beginning. How about you, Val?
Wonderful. So my journey started way back in the 90s too. It was about 1993, 94. I read the book by Dirk Benedict called Confessions of a Kamikaze Cowboy. And
Oh,
Dirk Benedict was the TV star. He was Face on the A-Team, and he was Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica back in the day. And I had a huge crush on Dirk Benedict. And
oh,
as a young kid, I actually knew that he had prostate cancer and he overcame prostate cancer and he wrote a book about it. And so as I got older, every time I would go into a bookstore, I would ask, and they didn't know what I was talking about. So it was about like 93, 94. I was in a health food store and there was the book that I had been
oh,
looking for years. That book changed my life. It was his journey of healing himself from prostate cancer. And that put me on my road. My background is in macrobiotics. And so the book is all about healthy whole foods from Mother Earth. Don't eat anything that's refined or processed. And I chose to go the vegan route. In the book, Dirk Benedict had no animal products either when he healed himself. I do believe he's still a vegan. I follow him on Facebook. But anyways, as soon as I read that, I was like, this completely makes sense. We
yeah,
are supposed to be eating this way. Our food is not supposed to be tampered with.
yeah.
And then I went on to work at a macrobiotic cooking school for 2 years where I apprenticed. And then I started cooking for people, personal chef services. I still do that. And I started teaching cooking classes in 1997. And I still do that. And I am
Wow.
still creating new recipes every single week using these, flavor combinations. I find the average American diet was boring. It was like the same thing over and over again. This whole foods where I'm using whole grains, my diet's based around whole grains, but just a huge variety of vegetables. There's so many vegetables that most people don't even explore or eat, right? They just stick with a certain few. And the flavor profiles, and just like I said, it's been 27 years I've been teaching classes and I'm still making new recipes. So there's nothing boring about this lifestyle, not at
Yeah.
all. And
Well, I noticed in the bundle your offer is burgers. Like there are burgers and other kind of grilled type fare, right? They look amazing. I noticed quinoa in there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the plant-based burgers?
so the thing that I have two things in the bundle. One of them is called Scrumptious Plant-Based Burgers and More. And it's a cooking class that I taught last year with two other ladies that are in the bundle, Sid Nodder and Vicki Brett-Gock. And it was my idea to team up with some of these talented ladies that were in the bundle last year. And I actually had this thought in my head. I wanted to create a veggie burger with the flavor profile of a pasty. Now, you're from Canada. You know what a pasty is?
No.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just wondering because the Upper Peninsula is close to Canada, so I thought maybe, but I guess not. And so a pasty, it's actually English. So it comes over from England a long time ago. And my mom's dad's side of the family came from England. And it's a handheld food, the traditional food. And it has a crust on the outside. It's not a yeasted bread crust, it's more like a pie crust. And
Okay.
inside, traditionally, a long time ago, there was meat, but there is always rutabaga. There has to be
Oh,
rutabaga because that's a very English vegetable and they love their rutabagas over there. It also has onions, lots and lots and lots of onions, and potatoes. So I
wow.
use the organic sweet white potatoes because I just think they have more flavor. And that's what I used as the flavor profile to create the pasty veggie burger. This is it right here. There's
Oh,
the patty.
wow.
And then it's a white sauce that I serve with it because a pasty doesn't have gravy in it. A pasty has white sauce. Now, this
Okay.
is the gluten-free bun that I also teach in the class. And the base of this is quinoa.
Okay, nice.
Yep. And so then Vicky did a Fiesta Fajita burger and Sid did a Italian pizza burger. And then
Nice.
after we taught the class, we put together an ebook with more veggie burgers and more side dishes.
Nice.
And so, yeah, there's some great recipes in there. And that's just my contribution. The bundle has over 2,000 recipes.
Yes.
Have you tried any of the recipes yet?
Yes, I have. Actually, I was just thinking of that. I did Vicky's Vicky's recipe just the other day. It is chocolate cupcakes with purple sweet potato icing.
Yes.
You never would imagine that purple sweet potato could make a delicious icing. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the chocolate cupcakes were made with cashews and dates, and there was no sugar in them, but they were just so amazing. Everybody in my family loved them. And the icing was unbelievable. It was so good. So I made those. I made Chef AJ's peanut butter, the Goodman Chews, but I made them with almonds instead of peanuts. We had only salted peanuts in the house, so I just used my raw almonds, and it turned out really nicely. I also swapped out the date syrup for agave because that's just what I had in the house. Delicious. They were so good. I made a pizza from, no, what's the lady's name? There are just so many people in this bundle. I can't believe it.
It's a pizza cookbook. I haven't looked at it yet.
It's a pizza cookbook. Yeah. She's from Australia. Her name will come to me. Anyway, it was spelt pizza dough and then a cashew cheese, potatoes, garlic, and what else? Oh, and then the nutritional yeast combo with the walnuts, like that topper. It was so good. It was really good. I shared half the pizza with my son and my husband, and then they both went off and did their thing. And by the time they came home late in the night, it was gone. I ate the whole other half throughout the afternoon and evening. It was just delicious.
That's wonderful.
So the recipes are amazing, and of course, all of the other offerings are fantastic.
So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about what you have in the bundle, because I pulled up last night, and it's well, you can describe it, but it's course and it's little videos. I actually looked at what was it, the number 3 lesson, and I watched some of the videos. And so this is for people who have children who are picky eaters, and you're helping them along the way. So what inspired you, number one, like to create this, and tell people a little bit more about it?
Sure. Well, of course, so I'm a mother, and my children are grown now. My son is 22, my daughter's 19. And I was also a teacher for many years. I was a high school teacher while my children were in elementary school. And I had this history of really struggling with my health while I was in school. And I could see that it starts in elementary school. I could see it in the high school kids. The kids that are eating the processed food, the fast food, the junk food, their ability to focus and learn and their energy levels are so impacted by the food that it does impact their ability to have clarity, to focus, and to learn. And so I knew early on that I wanted to make this cookbook. I wanted my children to be in the cookbook. We were busy. I didn't ever get it together. But years later, when the time was right, I got down to it and made the book. Now, what's really curious is that, it's one thing to have a cookbook, but how do we get the children going in the kitchen, right? So the idea is that we're so inundated with fast food and junk food in this world. I mean, we can't get away from it. And it's really a battle for parents. So the idea of the course is not just the idea is not to turn your kids into vegans, although that would be wonderful, but that's not the message. The message is we want our children to be healthy eaters who love plants, who love natural whole plant foods. And I'm a firm believer that it's what you do most of the time that counts. We're after progress, not perfection. And if we can get our kids loving good food, it's going to set them up for a lifetime of healthy habits. And of course, that starts with the parents. The parents are the role models, and the children are watching their parents.
Absolutely.
So this whole course is really intended to, first of all, help parents understand that they're not alone, that their children are probably going to be okay if they don't have a huge sort of a repertoire of what they eat, and what you can do as parents and as a family to encourage children to eat more healthy food. And I think it starts, first of all, with getting organized. You know, a lot of these sports and activity nights they conflict with dinner hours. So hockey night, soccer night, and dance, they all kind of end around 7 or 8 o'clock. And then everybody's hungry, and it's very easy and natural to zip through a drive-through. But if we can get going on a Sunday, batch cooking, and creating maybe leftovers for lunches the next day or dinner for those activity nights, it just solves a big problem right away. And then the other piece to that is we need to get our kids into the kitchen.
Yes.
So this is going to be new for a lot of children and adults. New ingredients, unusual things that they've never seen or tasted before. And I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, if I couldn't identify what was in the bowl, I was not eating it. And I think that's pretty true for a lot of kids. So my suggestion is to let your child choose a recipe, go to the grocery store, let your child help with the groceries. They really want to help. They don't want to sit in the cart. They don't want to they want to help. They want to be involved. Let them go and pick out the veggies. Don't worry if it's a little bruised or not perfect. And then when you get home, let them touch and feel and experience the ingredients. And so they are familiar with them, and then they can put those ingredients together, create the recipe. Not only are they going to be more inclined to try it because they are familiar with the ingredients, they're going to be proud of their creation, so they'll want to try it. And I think this is just another way to get the family together and bond and spend time with your child, as well as developing healthy habits.
That's wonderful. Yeah, when I opened the bundle, I looked at the kids' things. I was not blessed with children, although it's something I've always wanted.
Wow.
And so a few years back, I think it was 2017, I volunteered at an after-school program, and I taught kids. And I did 3 sessions, one for elementary, one for middle school, and one for high school. I had so much fun. I just loved it. And they hired me, and I said, well, you do know that I'm vegan whole foods. Oh yeah, absolutely. They didn't even care, which is great. So I went in there, and I think they told the kids I was vegan, though, because that was one of the first questions I got asked. And, what's vegan? And I had to explain it. And those kids didn't know the difference. The young kids, I taught them just basics. And I brought like a rutabaga and a sweet potato and what did I bring? Turnip. And we made like French fries out of them. And they loved the sweet potato first, of course. But their second favorite was rutabaga. And most of them had never even tasted a rutabaga. It was awesome. And then the high schoolers, I went in there for the first class, and then I asked the high schoolers, what do you want me to teach you? And one of them said, pasta primavera. And I was like, whoa. So one of the classes, I taught them how to make vegan pasta primavera. And then they also said they wanted to learn how to make sushi nori rolls. And I was like, what? Okay, I'll teach you that. I was blown away. I went in there with the ingredients for the sushi nori rolls, and I had sheets of nori. And before the class even started, some of the students were like, can we taste that? And I was like very leery because I didn't want them to taste it and not like it and then not want to eat the nori rolls. And I said, well, okay, sure. Broke off a piece and gave it to them. And they were like, oh, that's good. Can I have some more? And I was like, oh, absolutely. Here. Because I have taught cooking classes for adults where I make miso soup and I put the sea vegetable wakame in it. And the adults are like, oh, I don't want to. That's weird. I don't want to taste that. And the kids were like, oh, let me taste that. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Give me more. And I was like, fantastic. fantastic. I wrote Vegan Cooking with Kids. This is one of my 6
Oh,
cookbooks.
oh, that's wonderful.
And all the recipes in here were the recipes I taught those kids. So there's like this here is like fruit and celery, and we used peanut butter and we put vegetables on it. We made like little bugs for the little
Oh,
kids. They loved that. It was so
oh,
much fun. And like I said, pasta primavera, I was surprised when they asked me for that one, but I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Here's my nori rolls that I taught them.
oh,
They thought that was
nice.
cool. Of course, that was 2017, so that's been a while. And I have been like, every time I meet people, I'm like, yeah, I want to teach kids. I want to teach kids. Well, finally, the local library in May has set me up to teach some teens. So I'm going to be teaching the teens. And the first recipe I'm going to do with them is the nori, the brown rice rolls. And so I'm excited about teaching kids again because, and like, I love what you said, like, I am surprised that the kids, they want more flavor, like more spices. In one of the little I don't know what you call them, but video clips in lesson 3 in your bundle, you talk about spices and don't be afraid of spices and add the spices, because I find that the kids really like that. Has that been your experience?
Well, my experience is mixed, but I will say that children, young children, really little children, have about 30,000 more taste buds than adults. And so they can be very sensitive to strong flavors. And sometimes that's the reason they will reject food, strong spice flavors, especially heat and spicy things. But I think as children get older, they start to really develop a keen taste for spices and not just spicy, but different spices and herbs and flavors. Yes. In fact, my children really loved all of the herbs, and we would grow them and we would have them around. My son used to love to make basil pesto. He
Mhm.
still does, actually. He just recently made the same recipe that he used to make as a little kid. Anyway, they do love herbs and they do love flavor. And given the opportunity to taste these natural flavors, they do really love them. And it's interesting because the artificial flavors in
Yeah.
junk foods and processed foods, and of course the flavors that come with the salt and the oil in fast foods, those are hard to compete with. But given the opportunity, children do love real natural herbs and flavors.
I was surprised, and the middle schoolers the most. They liked spicy because I had like some dips, and I taught them how to make dips. And I don't like spicy food. I'm a very mellow person. But I was shocked at the kids. I'm like, well, let's just put a little bit of spice. And they taste it. They go, no, needs more spice. And I was like, well,
Wow.
oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really nice. Really nice, Bella. Well, you did beautiful work there, and I'm excited to try your recipes for sure. I will try them this week before the week is out, and maybe I can show them when I do my next live.
Yeah, I did some of Chef Julia Dunaway's recipes in her Japanese 2 cookbook
Mm,
because, I just love her recipes because she uses the sea vegetables and the misos and the things that I use on a regular basis. I made her garlic miso tofu. It was absolutely delicious. I did her kombu dish where there's a Japanese name next to it, so I can't pronounce it, but it's a kombu, and you cook the kombu with seasonings, and it's very, very flavorful. So
beautiful.
her recipes are great. And then I did Lisa Rice's recipe from, I have it written down because I always forget things.
Oh,
Around the World. She has the
yes.
cookbook Around the World: Plants from a Plant-Based Planet. I did the Vietnam dish, and it has a delicious peanut butter sauce. That
I
peanut
made
butter.
it.
Oh, you
And
made it?
it's, oh yeah, I did it. With the rice wraps.
I did not have any rice wraps, so I just served it over brown rice.
Oh, so good. That peanut sauce was to die for.
Hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
So this bundle is for anybody who's listening. It is an extraordinary value. I think we already talked about this, but $8,000 worth of content. So if you were to buy everything individually, it would cost you more than $8,000. And until midnight on the 10th, which is coming right up around the corner, it's $49. And I think that I'm telling all of my friends, Val, I don't know about you, but I've told my family and my closest friends they have to get this thing. And so my brother bought it the other day and he was really excited. And he phoned me up and he was in overwhelm. And I said, okay, this is the only caveat. There's no hook, there's no catch.
Mm-hmm.
But the caveat is you might feel overwhelmed because there's so much information. And so I said to him, and I'll say to everybody, take your time and go through it because you have a year to download the content onto your computer. So there's no rush. And when you do that, I suggest having a little extra hard drive or something and just download it all and then you have it forever.
Yeah, I can screen share and just show people.
Yes, do that. I'm going to put my glasses on for that.
So even if you just click on the link, you can look at this page to see what's in the bundle. But then, of course, you want to buy it. And you get this. It's just amazing. So there's Dr. McDougall's gut program. This is like a whole program that'll teach you how to have a healthy gut. I mean, the price of this is $95 just by itself. I am definitely doing this McDougall gut program when I have time. Now, this is the collaborator cookbook that people in the bundle, they put a recipe in. I put a recipe in there. And did you put a recipe in?
I did not put a recipe in there. No.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. And then here's Chef AJ. A lot of people know Chef AJ because she's on YouTube. She's huge. She's huge on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a show every single day. And she features vegan, whole foods, beautiful people like myself and like Margot. I'm going to say your name wrong and I apologize.
That's okay.
There's Chef Julia with her Japanese. Love her. And there's all these courses. Here's Angelica with her yoga. And I want to show, there's Sid Nodder. That's who I did the burger class with. This Plan A Diet is a really good book for people who are just getting started. Yeah. She has so many tips and suggestions for changing your lifestyle. That's a really good one.
I know there's a food styling course in there somewhere that I can't wait to dive into.
Oh, see, there's so much in there. I didn't know there was I didn't know that. I haven't come across that yet. But here's Sid's Strong Bones thing.
There's the cupcakes. Yep. Those are the cupcakes that I made. Yeah.
I mean, that picture, that purple icing is just beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful is right. There's Dr. Furman's course on infection protection, how to improve your immune system.
Yep. There we go. And
so many things.
Kathy Hester, love her.
Yes.
I was on her. Were you on her show yet?
No.
Oh,
I don't know Kathy.
Oh, you'll have even if you don't get on during the bundle week, you need to contact Kathy and get on her show. She is a sweetheart, and this is her partner Cheryl. I had so much fun on their show. They're just really, really wonderful, nice people. I mean, she's super busy though. She's almost as popular as Chef AJ on YouTube. Wow. She has a huge following, but she's just a sweetheart. And her McDougall plan, it's this one here. She tells this story, her story, and then Cheryl's story about the challenges. And they started, the McDougall plan, which is basically what I've been living for 27 years, but it emphasizes complex carbohydrates and carbohydrates and because you'll never gain weight if you eat complex carbohydrates, which most people don't realize.
No, most
that's
people don't.
Really good. Now, here is holiday classics. There is a bread recipe in here I'm going to make. It's a gluten-free bread, but there's no yeast in it. It has potatoes in it, whatever. And Lisa Rice made this. And when she showed a picture of it, I went, where is that recipe? She told me. I totally am going to make that, if not today.
Is that the one with it has seeds all around it, and then she had an artichoke dip in the middle?
Yes.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yep.
Okay, that's where that is.
Yeah, I'm going to make that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Just so many, so
so
it is
on.
goes on and on and on. Just
There's
so
my
many things.
compresses, poultices, teas, and more, which I'll tell a little bit about after we get
Yeah.
done looking at this.
There's a bone health program in here as well, I think is really good. And 2 menopause programs for my ladies who are my age. Really good.
Yeah, that bone health one I think you're talking about is the one that Sid did. Sid Notter. Oh, there you are. There you
There
are.
I am.
No
No more
more
picky
picky
eating.
eating. I love this. This is so colorful. This cover. It's
Yes.
beautiful. Just beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I mean, hello, look at all this. Look at all this for $49. Now,
Yeah. Meal plans,
mhm.
desserts,
Lots, yep.
cooking classes like yours,
Yep.
fantastic. And then actual programs on how to get started with plant-based nutrition,
Yep.
all sorts of things.
All right, let me see. Stop. I'm gonna stop screen share here.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So that's the bundle. Hey, if you want to buy the bundle and you're watching this video, there is a link attached to the video. And then if you want to buy the video from Margaret, say your name again.
Margot.
Margot. I have to get rid of that T and
Just
then I
get
can
rid of
say
the
it.
T.
Margot. Go to her Facebook or whatever. So Margot, tell everybody what you want to tell them. Facebook, Instagram,
Oh,
website,
sure.
whatever.
Yeah, so I'll post this video somewhere in my Facebook, probably in Plant Powered Punks, and maybe on my main page. I don't know, but I'll put the link in the comments right under the video, and so people can see the link there. In Instagram, my link is in my bio, and in YouTube, I have the link in my description of all my videos. So yeah.
I have to find you on YouTube and Instagram. I haven't done that yet. We've got to follow each
I
other.
know we got to hook up. We
Yeah.
got to connect.
So the other thing that I have in the bundle is healing with food, compresses, poultices, teas, and more. This is
Okay.
3 classes that I taught where I teach you what's the difference between a compress and a poultice, how to make them. The first week is onions and garlic. The second week is aloe and comfrey. And the third week is ginger and turmeric.
Wow.
And I have been using these plants and foods for a long time in healing purposes. And so I put these classes together to show you. And I also go into great detail, like, you know, if you accidentally cut yourself, which one of these plants should you use? If you're swollen, which one of these plants should you use? I actually show you visually, this is how you make a poultice. This is how you put it on your face. I have some delicious, well, I have a couple that are delicious teas, but they use turmeric and ginger because I want to make them flavorful. But I also have strong, like flu bomb teas that have garlic in them that's pretty strong. And that's for when you're sick and you need more garlic in your body.
Yeah.
So I go through teas that are like strong tasting, but I have some good tasting teas in there too. So you can drink these teas when you're sick, or you can drink the other ones. The turmeric tea, you know, if you have turmeric in your body on a regular basis, the strong anti-inflammatory properties are fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Really nice. I'm looking forward to that. I love, so I know that there's some pretty powerful qualities of all of the things you're talking about, but in particular, I've heard a lot about onion, putting onion on the bottom of your feet when you're sick. And it really is miraculous.
Yes. And I talk about that in the class. And I was on Chef AJ's show yesterday, and I taught how to make an onion poultice that you would use if you had like an earache or if you were swollen or something. And onion is something I go to all the time because it's easy and it works. And I like to I tell personal stories in the class too, but my favorite personal story is my cat. So I love cats, but I had an all white cat. His name was Angel, and he lived for 23 years. And he was very healthy, except for the last year of his life. And 23 years is a long time. He developed swollen anal glands. And I didn't even know what that was. I had to look it up and do some research. And so it's infected, it's swollen. And so I knew onions with its anti-inflammatory properties and everything. So I did the steamed onion poultice, and I would have to hold him, and then I would put it on there, and he didn't like it. He's a cat, right? I mean, it's easier to do on a person. So I would have to do it like 3 or 4 times a day, just for like a couple minutes, as long as he would handle it. I did also put some fresh turmeric on there. So that was kind of funny, because this beautiful white cat, and then he had like this orange spot on him from the turmeric staining him. But
Oh,
by the time my vet looked at him, she's like, "Well, it's all healed. It's not inflamed. It's not infected. Whatever you did worked." And she said, "More power to you." So
wow,
yeah, it
that's
worked really
fantastic.
well.
We are currently giving not onion for the dog, but turmeric in our dogs. I have a concoction that I make with cashews and cashew cheese, and we put the turmeric in there along with amla powder because it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about your horses,
Oh
because
yeah.
I love horses. I grew up with horses. I mean, we had a horse and 2 ponies when I was a kid. My grandparents had horses. My
Oh.
uncles had horses. There's pictures of me riding the horses bareback when I was a kid. Now, unfortunately, I'm not in that environment anymore, but I love horses. I adore them. And you
Yeah,
have, are they Mustang horses? Are they
I
wild
do.
Mustang? Or tell us about your horses.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I love horses. I love all horses. I wasn't as lucky as you. I didn't have horses growing up, but my parents did everything they could to get me in every riding lesson and I did lots of riding as a child and I got to be around horses, thankfully. But when I was 40, I I figured it's now or never. So I did a lot of research. I love all horses. There isn't a horse out there that I don't love, but I had a particular affinity to the Mustangs. And it just has something to do with everything they stand for, wildness and freedom and power and all of the things. And so I did a lot of research and I discovered the Pryor Mountain Mustangs and their Spanish and Iberian heritage. And I knew that's what I wanted. And I found my first horse. Her name is Spanish Star. And I got her as a 2-year old. She was untouched. She was born in captivity, but both of her parents were from the wild. So she sort of still had some of that in her. And my children were little too. So my daughter was 2 and my son was 4 when she came. So my kids have literally grown up with her. And so then later on, and that was a whole journey of itself because I thought we were going to ride off into the sunset together, and I had to, it was a major learning curve. But it all worked out. I had natural horsemanship, mentorship training, and it was phenomenal. And then I got my second Spanish Mustang several years later as a 7-year-old. He just recently passed away,
Oh,
and sadly that was a very hard time just
mhm.
last year. But as a result of that, I had quite a bit of loss in my life, both my parents and my horse, all within 14 months, actually 15 months. And so I just was looking to see what I could do because my existing horse, needed companionship. They don't do well when they're by themselves. So I adopted a new Mustang, and she is in the States. They have to stay in the States for a year, but she is a wild horse, wild Mustang from Wyoming, and they are rounded up in these. It's actually quite sad. They're rounded up to make room for the cattle on the Bureau of Land Management land or crown land in the States. And so there are a lot of them in these holding facilities, and so they adopt them out. And I got this beautiful Mustang. Her name is Willow. I named her Willow. She's a Palomino, and we are starting. I have done a lot of work. I would say a moderate amount of work with women and women who have experienced trauma. Some teenagers who've been struggling with, all of the things that girls struggle with these days, and they come and just spend time with the horses, and we do some leadership stuff, and it's been really fantastic. So we're going all in this year. We're going to start leadership and equine facilitated learning with the horses, and everybody from kids to entrepreneurs to women leaders and everything in between. So that's really exciting. And yeah, so I'm as vegans, we tend to be animal advocates.
Yeah.
And I do advocate for the Mustangs.
That's like something that's I would love to do that. I hear that all the time about the horses used in therapy, and I just love that. I would love to be a part of that. When I grew up on 5 acres, and we had a barn, and we had the horses, and I live in the city now, although I have a nice place, but I'm not in the country, and there's just a part of me that's always like a country girl, and I just long for that. I just long for that. The last couple of years when I've gone horseback riding, I mean, just permanent smile on my face, Yeah. I know some vegan people don't like horseback riding, and I do understand that. I do, but I want to be around the horses, and I don't have horses. So I've even looked into like local farms, like, can I go volunteer and just work in the barn? But a lot of the local farms that have horses, they're an hour drive from my house. So I'd be driving an hour, volunteering all day, and then driving an hour home. Because I have looked into maybe these, ranches need volunteers, people to work with the horses. But anyways, I adore horses. Yes.
Wow. Well, when we have, we'll have to do something here, and you can come up and you can be the chef for the weekend, and
oh my God, I would love
do some
that.
horse
I have a client who it was in 2019. I drove to Canada and I stayed with her for 4 days and I cooked for her. But you're going to ask me where in Canada, and I can't remember. In Michigan, I went to Port Huron, and I drove across the bridge in Port Huron. And because I'm in Michigan and I'm like by Detroit, so we're close to Canada. But I didn't take the Detroit bridge. I took the Port Huron bridge. And
Georgian Bay, maybe Georgian Bay.
It wasn't that. It was by Niagara Falls, because we went to Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah, Niagara on the lake.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I went there and stayed with this lady for 4 days, and I cooked for her, and that was actually a lot of fun. And I just think Canada, just absolutely gorgeous. Canada, just gorgeous. And I have to ask you this other question: do you watch the show Heartland?
I have. I'm not an advocate, I'm not an avid Heartland watcher.
Yeah.
But I have seen it. It's filmed in Calgary, South Calgary.
So I started watching it when it first came out. They're going on their 17th season, and I am a crazy Heartland fan. I don't watch TV anymore. It is the only thing that I watch, and I actually signed up for a thing on the computer called Up Faith and Family or something, so that I could watch Heartland, because I don't watch TV. It's the only show, and the scenery is just breathtakingly beautiful. Then they ride the horses, and the main character is a character who can help the horses. Horses come and they're challenged for whatever reason, and she works with the horses, and it's just wholesome. There's no swearing, there's no violence. I hate that stuff. And so it's just a beautiful, wholesome show. And I literally will watch the show over. And if I ever feel bad or depressed, I'm going to pull up an episode of Heartland, because it's just beautiful, and the horses. And like I said, I just love it.
Oh, that's so good.
So I imagine you. Yeah, I imagine you like in this beautiful place like Heartland, where it's just beautiful sceneries, and you got your horses. And you told me you're right on Lake Superior.
Well, we don't live on the lake. We live on an acreage. We have 33 acres where we are. And we do live close, like the city is on the lake, or just not right on the lake. I'm just wondering if I could show you out our back window. Maybe I can. Do you want to take a peek?
Yeah, absolutely.
Show everybody. I just unplugged all my lighting. All right. It's kind of, you know what it's like. It's the spring.
Yes.
But that's our back.
Oh my God, I
It's
love it.
yeah, it's quite beautiful, but it's it's mucky and dead. Everything's dead out there right now just because of the um the time of year.
I
But
just, oh my God, that just makes my heart happy.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
it is
beautiful.
beautiful. We have lots of trails back there, and it's a great place to live. I feel really blessed.
That is just
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So, it's been just fantastic talking to you. I have to say, you were the most excited person I was most excited about talking to when I found out you lived in Canada and you had horses and your course is for kids. I mean, I was like,
Oh,
I really want to talk to this woman.
oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, Val. Well, you're just doing such wonderful work in the world, and I love your books, and I'm excited about your recipes, and I'm really excited about your poultices and your teas. That's really important. And it's such a good, I think, addition to a program like their bundle like this because just it's not just all about the food that we eat. It's what these other properties that they have are so amazing. So thank you for that.
Food is medicine.
Food is
Absolutely.
medicine, literally.
Tell everybody again how they can find you and follow you.
Sure. So Instagram is Margot Freitag with a T, MargotFreitag. Uh, and then Facebook is my name again. But if you want to follow my page with the book, it's Plant Powered Punks. And then YouTube is also Plant Powered Punks.
Wonderful. And again, the vegan bundle.
The vegan bundle, everybody.
It's only available until March 10th. And here we are, it's March 8th. So you have the rest of the day today. And then you have Saturday and Sunday. And that's it.
And that's it.
This group coming together will never happen again. This collection of over $8,000 worth of merchandise will never happen again. The opportunity will run out. And it's only $49. It's just a huge, huge deal. This, by the way, this is my recipe that's in the collaborative cookbook.
Oh,
It's
that looks good.
brown rice, aduki beans, asparagus, and
Mm.
sauerkraut.
Oh, that looks delicious.
I love a
And
sauerkraut.
sauerkraut, good for the gut.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Val.
Yes. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to connecting with you. I'm going to join all your social media places.
Yes, yes, we'll stay in touch for sure. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.